Hello, folks. You are watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media, all of our channels and networks. I'm Mike Morales here in the San Gabriel Valley of Southern California. That gentleman out there is
Rick Levy in the San Pasqual Valley of Southern California.
he almost forgot where he was. Rick, I'm really excited to finally get Tequila Atanasio. I have been anxiously chasing this brand. Several of the people that we follow on Instagram may have already had some of these. We were very fortunate; they reached out to us. As a matter of fact, they're one of the family members, and gave us some very kind words on liking our videos and things like that. So he made this happen. I appreciate that. We're gonna taste it and dissect it and then tell you all the ins and outs and where you can find it and how much and all that stuff. I gotta tell you, man, I really like the branding part of it. That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like the graphic on the back with the pina integrated, and yeah, it's like this hefty apothecary type bottle.
Yeah, it's a very substantial bottle. I know that when we got these samples, they let us know that they were having supply chain problems, and so some of these bottles have corks, and some of them have a screw top, which is fine with me. I got no problem with either. So, oops, this looks like it's not going to come out right.
Blanco is it's a stopper.
Yes.
And it gives it's like the satisfying pop when I pull it. You gotta do a little bit
the satisfying pop. I haven't had a satisfying pop in a long time. I'm going to pour mine in Atanasio Jarrito for tequila. This is a 80 proof tequila, of course. Some of you, I believe that the tequila right now is available primarily in Texas, if I'm not mistaken, but I believe they are also available in Southern California. And so let's see what we get. Oh, that's interesting. An interesting tier. Trying to wait for it to cling to the glass. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, if you're listening to us on the podcast, I'll try to describe what we're watching. We always look at it. You know, there are three facets you look at when you taste tequila. The first one is sight. Is it visually beautiful? Does it have nice legs and tears? The legs and tears aren't they're not an indicator of quality, but they do indicate how it's going to taste in your mouth, how it's going to feel, the mouthfeel, the body. And I'm getting some pretty decent legs and tears, Rick. What are you getting?
Yeah, it's looking good. I think I'm getting a pretty good shot here on my camera.
Oh yeah. And you know,
I like that. It's leaving a nice constellation.
Oh, listen to you. Que romantico, a constellation. Yeah, it's you know, they're not streaming like Netflix, but they're taking their own sweet time to form too. So there they go. A lot of times, you know, these bottles have been sitting in like on my living room floor for at least a week and a half. So we just broke the seal off of it online or offline, and so it does take a little while for it to open up. Holy cow!
Yeah, it's jumping right up there.
Whoa!
Getting like some green apple off the top.
There's a bakeness to it, and I've heard some descriptions of this tequila before. It's kind of a buttery smell that we're getting, right? And that can be, I think some people attribute it to the fermentation process or a type of, I've heard it being called malolactic. So, and I'm not sure exactly where in the process that is developed. I can look at my aroma wheel and it'll probably tell me pretty close if it happens in distillation or fermentation or if it's a combination of both. but it's a nice smell, you know, and I haven't smelled this smell like this in a long time. This is
Yeah.
this is an old school tequila. And you know who else has this smell? Who had it at the very beginning was Fortaleza, when it was called Los
Mm.
Abuelos, the first batch of Fortaleza. But it was matched by the wet cement from the Taona on that first batch, because we were fortunate enough to have it. And that Blanco, that was all I had, was the Blanco, was outstanding. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. I'm getting notes of like butter, like a
Hmm.
you know, as I said, it's a
Well,
malolactic.
yeah, and you raise the fermentation and the distillation, but they're also doing their cook in autoclaves, but on a slow cook. They're not doing the high pressure fast cook.
Yeah, they actually were nice enough to send us a DAC, some information that I can share on the screen so you folks can see what we see, and I'll do that in a little bit. But what a pleasant nose, and it's a very old school
Yeah.
nose. Some people won't, you know, it's not your traditional Highlands where you get more fruit notes and more flowery, you know, perfume.
I'm getting some hint of lime. There's some definite anise in there.
Well, as it
And
opens
then
up, it's really lovely when it opens up.
yeah, and green apple came to mind right off the top.
Yeah, I'll buy that. Wow, that is a flash from the past. Now these folks are agave
Yeah.
growers, okay, and they have, I guess that's the story, where they were agave growers for a long time and just decided to make their own. It was, I guess
Right.
it's an homage to one of the family members, and it's been narrowed down now to just Tequila Atanasio, which works for me. So
Well, and right now we've been dealing with an agave shortage, but prior to this, there was a bit of a glut. And at that point, I believe there were a lot of agaveros who went into distilling.
yeah, it's not uncommon. The tequila industry has a history of gluts and deficiencies. I mean, it's just up and down after so many years. And every time there's a shortage, there's always an agavero who makes out like a bandit and makes so much money. He builds his own distillery and he starts making his own tequila. I can think of one in particular that I met, Don Nacho is one of those
Right.
guys. He's a real guy. I met him, and he, you know, is an agavero, just really an interesting character. But he was one of those that had made a fortune in probably the last couple of deficiencies of agave, and that's where he started his line, his brand. And it's taken him this long to finally get back into the U.S. market. Um, but
Yeah, it's been hard to find for a while,
yeah,
or at least
but
some of the
it is now
expressions.
becoming more available, from what I've seen, at least here in the San Gabriel Valley. I mean, you know, you go to the local Vallarta store and there it is. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I love this. This was great value.
yeah, yeah, it is. It's a and so you know, the agaveros really get, those are the guys you really want to watch, the ones that grow their own agave and can make their own tequila, because they're the ones that are going to survive. I don't see the tequila industry overtaking vodka, but if it does, it's in trouble. So
Yeah. Well, this is really bright and green and lovely.
and like I said, there's that extra layer of butteriness
The
and
butteriness.
apples and you know that kind of thing.
Wow. I can't wait to see what that's going to do on the palate.
Well, here we go. Let's
All
try.
right, salute.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Oh my God.
Ah,
Ah. Oh my God.
yeah, that delivers.
Wow. Wow. There's so much character, there's so much going on in there.
Yeah.
It really
Getting
does.
a lot of nice warmth,
Yes.
some, pepper on the back of the palate. Has a great viscosity to it on the palate.
Yeah, it's really actually quite lovely on the palate. Very silky going in, almost creamy or velvety. This has really got
Right.
a lot of texture to it. Great body, holy cow! And that finish, wow! And the lip and gum numbness too.
Yeah.
That this tequila is no joke, man. Wow. Wow, that is outstanding. I'm so pleased that they watched one of our videos and liked them and said, let's go send these guys samples.
They like us. They really, really like us.
Yeah, we're like Sally Field, right? Well, after 23 years, you think somebody would like us, right? So this is beautiful. What a nose. And it does remind me a little bit of Fortaleza nose. And although Fortaleza has that extra layer of complexity that you get from the Tahona. And so it's really that there's even another layer of depth that Atanasio cannot have. But
since they're cooking in the autoclave, even though they're doing a slow cook, I think everything is probably coming out evenly cooked. Whereas other cooking methods, you can get like some variation, and that can add some different things to the end product. I believe they are using natural fermentation, but they're doing it in stainless vats.
And that's okay too. I mean, Casanova's done that for years. So, the only thing that's missing from this is anise. I don't get any anise because the silkiness and that butteriness, that malolactic kind of aroma and taste kind of takes over. It's really it's fairly dominant.
Right. And so you're not getting the anise on the palate. Did you get it on the nose? I thought I was finding it.
I didn't, but you did. You were getting, and maybe mine hadn't opened yet enough. The apple I got, the apples or pears, and then that butteriness, that very distinctive smell. I used to think that was a Tahona, but it's not. It's something else. In fact, you know what? Now that I'm talking about it.
Yeah, they're not using a Tahona. They're using a Molino, a roller shredder.
Yes.
Which is, that's
standard
pretty much.
We got the handy dandy aroma wheel, and whenever I'm lost at something, I pull it out and see.
Yeah, it's a handy road map.
Yeah,
if you're trying to find your way through the aromas.
For those of you who've never seen this, this is we have this available online in our store on Amazon. You can get the Tequila Aficionado Tasting Journal, also the Consumer Catador course, which a lot of you are taking. Let's see, distillation, fermentation, slow cook, butter. This is in fermentation. So if you look at the wheel, which is all we did was translate the aroma wheel from Ana Maria Romero Mena, who is La Maestra. That lady is amazing. So we're not reinventing the wheel; we just translated it. Okay, and and here we go: green agave, butter, yeast, and that is because of the slow fermentation. So that's where it's coming from. That malolactic kind of fermentation that's happening. It's happening there. That's where the magic happens. And
it is magical. It is magical. There's amazing stuff that happens in the fermentation process. And then, there are these classes of compounds that are produced in the fermentation process that turn into other things entirely differently when they go through the distillation process. And so it's just, it is magic.
I'll have to.
It's alchemy.
It's alchemy. Yeah. I mean, and this is, I love the intention. I love the old school. This is, folks, if you're wondering what old school tequila used to taste like, this is it right here. Okay. I'm not even going to hesitate. Brand of Promise nominee in that Blanco category. This is beautiful.
And you could do a lot of great stuff with this in drinks too. If you're a mixologist.
Yeah.
It's really bright and lovely. It could add a lot to your creations, I think.
I don't even think of course I wouldn't do it because I really would miss, you know, the,
Oh, it's an amazing sipper, right?
yeah. Oh, it's a great sipper, folks. I mean, it's got a lot of character, a lot of body. It plays well on your palate. Great finish on the way down. It's just, and that nose, it really brings back memories. Oh my God. I'd forgotten this smell. Not too many people ferment, not too many distillers and houses use this kind of nose that translates in the palate. I'm not sure. I mean,
Right.
I'd imagine that there are some that prefer not to have this kind of flavor profile, but I love it. I love it
Me
because
too.
it really makes the tequila shine. And I think that, and I'm not sure. I'd have to take a look at maybe their Instagram and find out how close are they shaving their agaves. Um, I think they're shaving them pretty close. They're not leaving a lot of waxiness. But I could be wrong. All that has a lot to do with the final product, like some mezcals.
Yeah.
This is very reminiscent of a mezcal too, that has that kind of character and body. It's got all that layer of complexity without having any aging at all. Wow.
Yeah. And it's like, we could have this video last a long time where we just are picking out the other elements as they emerge.
Oh yeah. Great retro nasal. I get more of that green apple and green, agave, but that I love that malolactic, that butteriness. Okay, that turns me on, man. In fact, I would say it's right up there with anise. If I can get anise, but I've never had the two together. That's the weird part. Rick got it. He got it on the nose at least. Wow, fantastic tequila. Stick with us, folks, because we're going to go through the reposado and the añejo. Now, this kind of flavor profile does seep into the repo usually. I'll be honest, I had some of the repo actually the other night because I was doing some demonstration.
Oh, you cheater.
Yeah, but I didn't tell you.
Hey, before we sign off, I got a price point on this too.
Oh yeah, what's our price?
Yeah, here in San Diego at Old Town, it's available for $65
all day long. That's actually for the quality that you're getting in this Blanco.
Yeah,
that's not a bad price. I know pricing has gone up on everything because the supply chain and then the agave shortage and all that. But still, to keep it at that $65 price with this kind of quality and character, and it's a small house. They only make their tequila. That's it.
Right. It's a family distillery.
Yeah, let me give you the ins and outs just quickly before we sign off, and we'll do it again on the other two. The known number on this is known 1599, Familia Landeros, and it's Las Huertas, that's their address, and it's in Jalisco. Do we know, are they in Arandas, I'm wondering? Because that's where the office is in, it says Tequila, Municipio de Tequila.
I'm not sure where their fields are, but they're distilling in Tequila.
We'll look online. We'll look at their deck offline, and then we'll have that information for you when we get back here to the Reposado review. But that's our take on Tequila Atanasio. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California in the San Gabriel Valley. That gentleman out there is
Rick Levy, also in Southern California.
You have been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media, all of our channels and networks. Please subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. Give us a like because that helps with the algorithm. And subscribe. So unless you're afraid of commitment, follow us on Instagram and all the social media. And whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.